So I'm watching CNN today. Been watching it all day. Been watching it all week for the most part. Watch it every day anyway. So they're in L.A. They're in quite a few places, but in L.A. they're interviewing some of the store owners on Melrose that were looted, and some of the stores were set on fire, and people stole, if not all of their merchandise, the majority of it. And they keep referring to them as mom and pop establishments. And that's the part that's aggravating, because these aren't mom and pop establishments, although they're in our communities, and they feed off of us. They feed their families off of us. They're opportunists, just the same as what they're calling the looters and the people that are destroying their property, basically. Mom and pop stores, to me, are people that look like me, or people that look like my mother or my father or my grandparents, or those things. Mom and pop stores are not any of the stores or the store owners that I've seen them interview, all of which have been foreigners. And the crazy thing is that that is who owns these stores in our neighborhoods, in our communities. Um, and that is where the disconnect comes from, and that is part of the problem. Unfortunately, Mr. Floyd is the is the head of this deal, but that's not the only problem. Um, and unfortunately, again, it's just or fortunately, for that matter, it's brought some other things out. Um, Mom and pop, or what we call small businesses, don't exist in our neighborhoods anymore. They don't exist in our communities anymore. Banks don't loan money to small business owners or dreamers or visionaries. They tend to tell us that we are high risk, which is crazy enough, because you take the risk on uh, people of other nationalities to open up those same establishments in our communities. But when we want to open up an establishment in our communities, it's high risk, but any excuse will do, I'm sure. Um, Unfortunately, like I said, like for Mr. Floyd, I'm assuming from the 911 call that this was not either a mom and pop establishment. Um, and that's the unfortunate thing. That's the disconnect. That's the part that I don't think that they are addressing enough of, is that, whether it was a forged check or a phony $20 bill, was it worthy of actually calling out the police? First of all, uh, it cost the police more than $20 to start up the car and speed over to this store, right? Not that anybody knew that this, that it would end this way, but I'm just saying that, once they come out, more times than not, they don't want to make a blank trip. So there's something's going to happen, whether it's a citation, whether it's a fine, whether they run him and he comes up with a warrant and they take him down to the station. He ends up with a court date. Something more than likely will come out of it. So, it makes you wonder, like, was it even worth the phone call from the get-go? But that's the thing. These establishments in our communities are by people who aren't from the community, and they don't understand the culture. But yet they understand that we spend money. They understand that our money spends in their communities, and our money spends to send their kids to school, and our money spends to provide for their families. But that's where that's about as far as it goes. There's no understanding. Had that been a mom and pop establishment, they probably would have, dude, boy, get out of here with that. Ain't nobody dealing with that today, and probably still gave him what he came there for. I don't know. I think the call referred to cigarettes or something, whatever it was. Not that they have to, not that you have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. But I'm just saying that there's a cultural disconnect with these people who set up shop in our communities, and we all know it. We've known it for years. Not a whole lot we can do about it. Aside from, and we've tried it, boycotting or not frequenting them. But, when something's right there on the corner and you need something real quick, it's kind of hard to pass that corner and go 5 miles out. And all of that plays into why they set up there. All of that, they know it. It's not by mistake. It's by design. But the whole mom and pop thing, it's just not true. And that is why you see these people looting and setting fires. And again, I'm not saying it's right, but what I am saying is that they don't feel any type of way. For the most part, before Mr. Floyd, the Floyd incident, they already felt somewhat robbed by these establishments, because they already knew, that if they didn't have whatever funds they needed to, get whatever it was that they were going in there to get, that these people wouldn't otherwise deal with them. These people don't live in our communities. They work in our communities. They don't provide jobs in our communities. They, they may give you a hustle. You may be able to sweep the floor, the front of the store maybe, or take out the trash or something like that. But those aren't jobs. Those are hustles. When the whole pandemic hit, and that presents a whole nother problem. Those PPP loans for small businesses didn't actually go to small businesses. I'm sure if they pulled the applications, if they made them public, that probably less than 1% of those loans went to African American businesses, went to actual small businesses. Small businesses are built off of dreams and visions, and more times than not, off of our own funding, which is why even when the pandemic hit, we don't take days off. Small business owners don't take days off. We very rarely get vacations, because days off for us means lost finances. And that's something that we can ill afford to do, because we've invested our own finances into it. We don't have the luxury of a window to take time off. So when they say small business and things like that, and you watch these people, and that this whole thing is just happened, and we hadn't received any of that money, and people are having a hard time providing for their families, and kids are out of school, feeding their kids, or whatever the situation is, but yet we pass these stores every day. This guy probably frequented the store quite a bit. They knew who he was. They knew he'd be back. So it wasn't going to be a loss for him for the most part. But it's not. These aren't. They're not destroying mom and pop stores. They're not. Those things don't exist anymore in our neighborhoods, unfortunately. Not that they should be destroying anything at all, but I guarantee you, if these were mom and pop establishments, rather than looting, they would have been protecting. They would have been, arm in arm, linked up, looking out for them, making sure nobody looted, making sure nobody destroyed it, making sure nobody set fire to it. I guarantee you, no matter what you've heard, we are human. First of all, we are compassionate. And we know how to take care of our own. So, the whole mom and pop thing, again, they have a right to their businesses. They have a right to them. Nobody has the right to go in and destroy them, but they're not mom and pop establishments. They're opportunists. They're out, and they've taken advantage of the opportunity of opening these establishments in our communities and feeding their families off of them. And so I just wanted to get that straight. Back to the news.